Hello, friends. I am Nawazish, and today we are going to learn about two strategic reasons why Morton Salt has been America's #1 salt brand consistently for many years. What is the strategy behind their business? And the good thing is that these are two such strategic lessons that you can apply in your own business. If you want to start a business, these two reasons will be very useful for you. And you can find these two reasons in many other companies, buy their stocks, and benefit from investment too. So, whether you want to do your own business or want to invest in the stock market, this case study will open your eyes and will be very useful for you. So, let's start this case study of Morton Salt. First of all, what do you think? Why is Morton Salt America's #1 salt? Some simple reasons could be that people think Morton is a trusted brand, a legacy brand. Because of brand trust, this salt sells a lot. But if that were the case, then Morton's every other product would also be #1. But that doesn't happen. Just because a brand name is big doesn't mean everything they sell becomes #1. Second simple reason could be that it's just habit. People are used to buying Morton salt. But in today's world, habits change fast. Remember BlackBerry phones? At one time, every professional had one. Now nobody uses them. Fashion changes fast, people's tastes change fast. So just because of habit, a product stays market leader for so many years? That's not possible either. So these two aren't the real reasons. Do you know what the real reasons actually are? The second one is my absolute favorite and is going to be very useful for you. So let's discuss the first reason, and that is wallet share. What is wallet share? Today, an average American household income is around $5,000 to $6,000 per month. Now, in that context, how much does a container of salt cost? Morton Salt, a 26-ounce container, costs about $1.50 to $2. So if someone's monthly income is $5,000 and they need maybe one container of salt per month, their monthly salt budget is about $2. Out of $5,000 income, that's 0.04%. If you earn $100 in a month, you need to allocate 4 cents for salt. Salt takes up such a tiny portion of our budget that we never think about saving a dollar on salt. Nobody says, let me buy the $1 salt instead of the $2 Morton salt and save a dollar per month. What am I going to do saving $1 a month on salt? That's why people don't chase cheaper alternatives. And this is the reason that even if Morton salt is $1 or $2 more expensive than competitors, it doesn't affect their sales at all, meaning Morton salt has pricing power. If they increase the price from $2 to $2.50 or even $3, their sales won't decline. Even if they increase their price by 25-50%, it won't matter. Compare this with something like a car. If Toyota increases prices by 20%, suddenly Honda and Hyundai start selling more and Toyota's sales drop. Toyota doesn't have that much pricing power, but Morton Salt does. Why? Not because salt is cheap, but because the monthly expenditure on salt as a percentage of household budget is incredibly tiny. Even if something costs $4 per unit, if you need 100 units per month, your monthly expense is $400. If that goes from $4 to $4.50, your monthly expense increases by $50. That's noticeable. But salt, which you buy once a month, one container, even if it goes up by $1, your budget changes by $1. You're not going to change your buying decision over $1 per month. This concept is called low wallet share. When a product takes up a very small portion of the customer's total spending, the customer doesn't bother switching to a cheaper alternative. This gives the market leader incredible pricing power and makes it very hard for competitors to steal customers through lower pricing. Now, let's discuss the second reason. And this one is really interesting. See, when a grocery store or a small convenience store stocks salt on their shelves, what happens? A small convenience store is maybe 1,000 to 2,000 square feet. Shelf space is always at a premium. Everything is fighting for space. So if you ask the store owner honestly, deep down they don't really want to stock salt. Why? Because if they keep 10 containers of salt, the total value of that inventory is maybe $20 retail. But those 10 containers take up valuable shelf space, the same shelf space where they could stock something with much higher margins. The store owner stocks salt reluctantly out of necessity. Because salt is needed in every household, people will definitely come to buy it. If the store doesn't stock salt, the customer goes to another store. And if they go to another store for salt, they'll buy their other groceries there too. So to retain customers, stocking salt is a compulsion. For one container of salt, the store makes maybe 30-50 cents profit. It's not a money maker, so the store owner is keeping salt reluctantly. Now, if I'm keeping something reluctantly, am I going to stock many different brands? Am I going to keep Morton salt and also store brand and also some organic brand and also some Himalayan pink salt brand? No way. The store owner thinks, I just need one trusted brand that I can hand to customers. I don't want to keep four different brands of salt taking up my precious shelf space. Compare this with something like deodorant. A deodorant stick is small, doesn't take much space, and has much higher margins, maybe $230 profit per unit. So the store owner happily stocks 10 to 15 different brands of deodorant. More variety means more chances of selling and making good money. But for salt, the owner wants to stock only one or two brands. And which brand? The one that customers already trust and buy. Morton Salt. Because it's the established leader, it's what customers expect. Now, here's where competitors get trapped. Think about this beautiful trap. If a competitor tries to price their salt higher than Morton, the customer says, when Morton salt costs me $2, why would I pay $3 for someone else's salt? So the customer doesn't buy it. And if a competitor prices their salt lower than Morton, say at $1, the store owner says, when my customer doesn't mind paying an extra dollar for Morton, why should I waste my precious shelf space on your cheaper salt? My margin on your salt will be even lower. With Morton at $2, I make 50 cents. With yours at $1, I'll make maybe 20 cents. And I have to use the same shelf space. Why would I bother? So competitors are stuck. If they price higher, customers won't buy. If they price lower, store owners won't stock. This is an incredible competitive advantage that Morton has. No matter whether competitors price higher or lower, they cannot compete effectively. And this is exactly what happened when some companies tried to sell premium specialty salt at 5 to 10 per container. They ran expensive TV commercials with celebrity endorsements. But when it costs 5 to 10, the customer says, when Morton salt costs me $2, why am I paying $5 for fancy salt? Salt is salt. So customers didn't buy it. And for the ultra cheap competitors trying to undercut Morton at 0.999, the store owners didn't want to stock them because the margins were even lower than Morton's already thin margins, so they couldn't get shelf space. Think about this. Morton's competitors are completely stuck. They can't go higher because customers won't switch. They can't go lower because retailers won't stock it. Morton has built a moat that is incredibly difficult to breach. Now, think about this concept more broadly. What other products have this same dynamic? Where the product takes up a lot of shelf space relative to its value, where the store owner reluctantly stocks it, and where the market leader has such a dominant position that competitors can't break in from either direction. One category I can think of is soft drinks and beverages. Large bottles take up a lot of space and they also need refrigeration. Plus, the refrigerators in stores are usually provided by Coca-Cola or Pepsi themselves. So think about how much harder it is for a new beverage brand to get into that refrigerator. Another category could be bottled water. Cases of water bottles take up enormous floor space. Each case is heavy and low margin. Stores don't want to stock 5 different water brands when customers don't really care. Paper towels and toilet paper are another example. Massive packages that take up tons of shelf space. Very low margin per unit of shelf space used. Stores want to stock only one or two trusted brands. Think about which other consumer product categories have this dynamic, where the product is bulky relative to its value, where shelf space is at a premium, where the store owner doesn't want variety, and where the market leader has been dominant for years. Those market leaders likely have the same competitive advantage as Morton Salt. These could potentially be good investment ideas. Subject to further research, of course. Look for companies that dominate categories where shelf space dynamics work in their favor, where their wallet share is tiny so customers don't switch, where retailers don't want to stock multiple brands. In the stock market, this translates to companies with sustainable competitive advantages, what Warren Buffett calls economic moats. Companies like Procter and Gamble with their dominant position in many household categories, like Coca-Cola in beverages, Like Church and Dwight with Arm& and Hammer baking soda, which dominates the baking soda aisle the same way Morton dominates salt. These companies tend to generate consistent profits year after year. They have pricing power, they have loyal customers, and competitors find it extremely difficult to take their market share. That's exactly what you want in a long term investment. So, to summarize the two strategic reasons why Morton Salt stays number one. First, low wallet share. Salt costs so little relative to household income that nobody bothers switching to save a few cents. This gives Morton incredible pricing power. Second, shelf space dynamics. Salt takes up valuable shelf space with very low margins. Store owners reluctantly stock it and only want one or two trusted brands. This creates a barrier that prevents competitors from getting distribution, whether they price higher or lower than Morton. These two factors together create a nearly unbreakable competitive position. And the beauty is, these same principles apply to many other product categories and businesses. So think about this and tell me in the comments. Which other companies or product categories have this Morton Salt advantage? Where the wallet share is tiny and the shelf space dynamics favor the incumbent leader? Because that could be a very good investment idea. Subject to further research, of course. And I hope you liked this video and learned something new. If yes, then please like this video. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, press the subscribe button and bell icon. And definitely tell me which company's brand strategy you want me to analyze next. Should I do Coca-Cola? Should I do Procter& and Gamble? Should I do Amazon? Tell me in the comments. If you want to learn to analyze companies in depth like this, understanding balance sheets, annual reports, accounting concepts, valuations, everything, then keep watching this channel. I will bring many more such educational videos. Also, to get interesting information like this every day, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The IDs are on your screen now. I will keep bringing many more such videos. Until then, this is Nawazish signing off. Bye bye.